Hello everyone, Colin Canet here for Woodwork Web. Today I want to talk a little bit about tools, and if you've purchased tools in the past and used them for a while and found they're not suitable in your shop, or you see something else that you like to upgrade them, and that's what I've done recently. I've upgraded my compressor. Now the reason I've updated my compressor is that I've seen at the wood shows, I've seen some compressors that are very quiet. And the reason that I really like to have a quiet compressor is because when I'm cutting wood and jointing and planing, I have to wear ear protection and eye protection, and that's what you have to do for those tools. But when you get all finished, all the cutting out of all of the wood, when it comes time to constructing the actual project, that's when I don't want to have to wear ear protection. And if I'm using a compressor and pinning some parts of a project together, with my old compressor I had to wear ear protection because it was too noisy. Now I don't have and I don't use a lot of air tools. This is a 16 gauge pinner, and I use that once in a while. This is a stapler, and I think I've used it 2 or 3 times, so it hardly gets any use. But the tool that I do use a lot is this little 23 gauge pinner, and it's starting to cause me some, I've used it enough now, it's starting to cause me some problems, so it's going to be another one that's going to have to be updated soon. But a 23 gauge pinner to me is a very useful tool. Using a compressor for a few small air tools like that, and of course blowing up the tires on my bicycle, that's really all I need a compressor for, and a portable one is far more use to me than a stationary compressor. So after looking around at a few different air compressors, this is the one that I settled on. This is the California Air Tools, and this is their model 1610A. And it weighs about 35 pounds. The thing that I liked about it is this tank is actually aluminum compared to most compressors that are steel, so it helps to keep it a little bit lighter. Now the compressor itself, it goes up to 120 pounds, and that was important to me because my bicycle tires, I know I keep talking about my bicycle, but my bicycle tires need 115 pounds, so I needed a compressor that went up to at least 120 pounds to be able to fill those up. Now the thing that really sold me on this little unit was how quickly it came up to full compression, and from no air in the tank up until it turned off, it's less than a minute. And the reason for that is it actually has 2 compression units, and when you turn the unit on, even though it's got 2 pumps, it still isn't all that noisy, and we're going to show you that in just a second. Now I really liked how well laid out this little compressor was. Now the main tank compression, or the bulk compression, is measured on the side, but you don't really need to see that, so it's off to the side. The pressure that you do want to look at is that one right there, and you can see that on top, and that's the pressure that you want to run your air tools at, because that's what's going right out to your tools. And the control for that, of course, is right there, so it's really easy to get at. The other thing I liked is you always need to drain tanks so that you get the moisture out of them. Although with aluminum it's not as important, but this one you don't, the release for that is right there. You can see the little knob right there for it. You don't have to dig around underneath the tank to find it, so it's really well laid out, and this is the switch to turn it on. And that's just how easy it is. There's nothing magic about it. It's just a great little compressor. Now, as great as this tool is, it's not the ideal tool for everybody. This is perfect if you're doing a little bit of pinning, if you're a finished carpenter and you're doing moldings, things like that, spray painting, that sort of thing. If you're doing roofing and house construction, you'll need something bigger than this, because you'll need something with a larger reservoir and something with a higher duty cycle than what this is. For a small workshop, for woodworking, this little unit is perfect. Now, one of the things that I talked about was how quiet this unit is, and I have a little app on my phone here that's actually a decibel meter, and we're going to turn this on, and I've actually tested this. It's actually pretty accurate, and this is supposed to run at just over 60 decibels, around 65 decibels. So let's turn it on and see. And there it's running at about 57. Well, you can see it jumps whenever I talk, so if I keep quiet, you can actually see. It's around 60, 67 decibels. So I checked to see what the upper end for noise levels are, and apparently 85 decibels. When you get beyond 85 decibels, you need to start worrying about hearing damage. So, and this little guy's running at usually under 70, 65, 67 decibels, or even less than that. And that's where I've got it up here on the bench. Usually it's down on the floor and a few feet away, so even as it gets further away, of course, the decibels get lower and lower. So it really does run at a pretty quiet rate. I have the little 1610 compressor from California Air Tools. Great little unit. It's a perfect addition to my workshop, and I'm really enjoying this little tool. If you like what we're doing, we ask you to subscribe, and we also ask you to go to Woodwork Web, because there will be an associated article about this, and it'll have some links so that you'll be able to go and check out these things for yourself and see if it's something that you might be interested in or not. So, I'm Colin Kinnett for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.